All right, on to practice number 3. All right, so I know we're not going to get to all of this stuff. So this is my best case scenario. I am hoping that we're not going to have all 11 kids, but I'm hoping that we have at least 9 um, on Tuesday, and then hopefully the same number on Thursday. And hopefully with 2 more practices, we'll be in okay shape for the game. So, all right, so here is what I'm looking to do on Tuesday, our first practice of the week. So I'm going to concentrate on talking about the 4 parts of the game. So, right, just break it down: offense, transition to defense, defense, transition to offense. That's pretty much it. And then I really want to walk through the full anatomy of a game, since we've got a couple of kids that have not played in the program before or in our league, and just really kind of walk through, what that's going to look like, and then do drills along the way that are complementary. So first one, just to get loose, is Duke speed dribbling. It's just kind of dribbling fast. Let's see. So this is pretty much dribbling as fast as you can, and then we'll have them do a jump stop. Stop this. I'll show there. All right, hopefully you still hear my voice on that one. So that's pretty much it. Just we'll put them in groups. Speed dribble, trying to, if they can, do alternating hands with a good jump stop, and then get everybody warmed up, and then maybe have them do the speed dribble into a layup. I don't know. We'll see how things go. So that would be number 1, just as a quick warm up. And let's see. Then I want to talk about some things about the pregame. Obviously we're lucky to get 5 to 7 minutes of court time for warm up. So let them know, when they're going in the game, I'll be telling them, or you'll be telling them, what their assignment is, 1 through 5, at least to start the game. So we'll talk about the pregame, and then I want to go into a drill called Cardinal. This is something that we might be able to do pregame. We'll see how it works in practice. And my goal is to just get the kids touching the ball. I'm a little worried that this might be too complicated for them, but it's a little bit like that cones drill that I do, but it's 2 versus 1 rather than 2 versus 2. What I like about it is you get a lot of kids involved, and they're touching the ball, catching the ball, passing the ball. So they don't narrate in this video, but they kind of go through the motion. So we'll just let it play out here for a second. So you've got your rebounder. Your rebounder is throwing it out to the corner here. Corner person's throwing it to half court. Somebody's here at the corner there. Then this person's following their throw here. I want to emphasize, every time they throw the ball, they're moving somewhere else. And then what happens is whoever shot the ball in the last 2-on-1 that was on offense, they've got to sprint out to half court and then come back and play defense. So you'll see that. So she threw it to the other side of the court. I'm a little worried that they're not going to be strong enough as 5th graders to make that pass, but we'll see how it goes. They can sneak over a little bit if they have to. And then essentially, that person who took the shot in the last 2-on-1 scenario that was an offense, they have to go back, touch half court, come back and play defense, and they're going 2-on-1 against that person. So should get the blood moving for pregame. Everybody's getting involved. Everybody's touching the ball. Not as many shots as I would like, but with the limited time we have, that hopefully that'll work. So we'll do that kind of after we talk about what what the pregame is going to look like the day of the game. All right, so we can see what that looks like. All right, after that, you never think about having to talk about the mechanics of a jump ball situation, but I think we need to go through that so everybody knows where they should be. Honestly, I hadn't really thought about it in a while, so I took a couple notes from some other coaching materials that I found online, and we'll just talk about number one. As the person who's jumping, what do you do? And I'm just going to tell them, tell the person, call them out by name of who you think you're going to tip it to. The other team's not going to know our kid's name, so it's not going to be a tell of any sort. And then I've attached a video here that just goes over the rules. So we'll just go over the rules of the jump ball, and then I will show them a formation. And this is more of a defensive formation where, let's say that we are the X's. We put somebody back here with our hoop back here, and then this would be more of a kind of a defensive setup. And we'll find out. If we find out we're winning most of the tip-offs, then maybe we'll go and do something that's a little more offensive. All right, so that is a jump ball. Then I'm going to talk about what happens after a made basket. The rule is going to be person closest to the ball enters it to the one. For the most part, it doesn't always have to be the one, but we're going to start with a kind of hard and fast rule. If they're going to be able to press this year in this league, so if they pressure us, well, in these first couple of games, maybe on Thursday we can go over a little quick press breaker, but I don't think we're going to have time to really address it. That will change things dramatically. Otherwise, the whole idea is just whoever close to the ball, get it in as fast as possible and get up the court. So we may do that a couple times where we just take 5 of them, make the basket, and just show them quickly, make that entry pass to the one starts looking up the court for the wings and passing rather than dribbling if someone's open. All right, so then that's going to go into a game called Race Car, and this is going to be messy, but it's intentionally messy. So it's done full court. Let's see here. Always takes a while to get into these drills. All right, we can go 4-on-4 or 5-on-5, and essentially what it is, it's just full court basketball, but there's a couple of rules. So the rule is number one. I did this in an open gym earlier this year, and it worked out pretty well. The kids liked it. So you can see that this guy's going to enter the ball in, and the coach is calling off. I'll probably give them 7 seconds, and they have 7 seconds to get it all the way to the other side of the court, and they have to get a foot in the lane. That stops the timer. Then obviously if they have a path to the hoop, they can shoot their layup or to shoot the shot when they're in their lane. Otherwise they can set up and just play regular offense. But they have to get the ball into the lane in 7 seconds. If they don't, blow the whistle, instant turnover, and the other team's going the other way. And the clock resets. They've got to do the same thing. They've got to get into the lane in 7 seconds. So the other wrinkle to this is they also have to pass the ball over the half-court line. So that gets them used to pitching the ball ahead and passing rather than just, a bunch of dribbling. So we will run that, and that'll give them some real game-like situations. And, the one thing I'll have to think about is I think I will call off the pressing. So, we'll think about that when we get into the drill and see how it's working. All right, so that is called Race Car. All right, they'll be tired after that, so we will go into just a free throw setup. We'll just walk them through. what the shooter is, what their shooter rules are, where they're supposed to line up as when they're on offense, what they're on defense, what are the non-shooter rules about going into the lane, when they can go in the lane, all of that stuff. They'll get to rest up a little bit. And then we haven't done any defense this year at all. So we'll do a defensive 3-man shell drill and then expand into a 5-man shell drill and just show them the basic progressions of, when your man is only one pass away, you're kind of hedging in the lane a little bit. If you are 2 passes away, you're sucking in a little bit, and we'll just walk through what that looks like. And I think if they do it in the 3-man first, they'll kind of get the idea, and then we'll expand to the 5-man if we have time. All right, so then I want them to get a little practice on making that transition from offense to defense. And so I'm going to do something called transition advantage. I know I have a video here someplace, but it's essentially, lining the teams up for the baseline. Hopefully we can go 5-on-5, and you throw the ball to the offensive team, whoever that player is. You know what? Let me see if I get the video here. That was Greg McDermott's version, which is a little bit different. But let's see if I can find that one. All right. So at some point I'll pay for YouTube so I don't keep getting all those commercials. But all right, so he is doing it. It looks like he's doing 4-on-5 to start. But anyway, similar setup. There'd be 5 guys on the baseline on offense, 5 here. And essentially, you throw the ball in. Whoever gets the ball, their man has to go and touch baseline or touch wall and then go back on defense. And then to give the offense a little bit better advantage, sometimes I will call out an additional name, and that person has to go touch and come back. So essentially, it's just emphasizing when you're, coming back and it's 3-on-4 or 3-on-5, you've got to communicate to the other defensive players and call out, who's got ball, who's got second pass, things of that nature. So it helps them kind of figure out, that it's not always, you're not always going to be guarding just your man. You've got to worry about if you're in a disadvantaged situation, communicating with the other players to figure out who to pick up. So let's see what this looks like when you. So that's kind of what it looks like. All right. Transition advantage. Then we'll talk about substitutions. We'll let them know that, number one, we've got 11 players. It's a lot of players. We'll try and get the even playing time as best we can. Tell them, there's no reason they can't go hard because they're going to only be in for 4 to 5 minutes at a time. And just let them know, we'll give them a number and they need to be aware of who they're going in for. Talk to that person, make contact, figure out who they're picking up on defense. So there you go. All right, so that's substitution. So now we're going to put in the sideline out of bounds because I think we're going to have quite a few players there on Tuesday. And so essentially the rule is going to be, we'll line up in this box formation. And if they're not pressuring us outside the 3-point line, I'm just going to say, if they're not pressuring us, easy pass where there's no reason to run the play because this play may come in handy when we need a bucket later in the game. So if they're not pressuring us, just easy pass to your guard. 3 is always taking it out on a out of bounds play. But if they are pressuring us, this should be pretty simple but just screens 1 and 5 come up, and then the guy who should be getting the bucket is this 2 coming across on this screen. So it's important that this 4 guy knows to set this screen, then set this screen, and then really they should be rolling to the basket. All right, so that's the sideline out of bounds play. All right, let's get back to all right. I don't know that we're going to get much more than that done with time. I've timed this out, and it says 90 minutes, but our uniforms may come in on Tuesday. Other things I would like to get to is just talking about the timeouts and bench conduct. So I think the kids have to be playing or sitting when they're on the bench. And then my instruction for timeouts is at a timeout, the players that are in the game should be sitting on the bench. Anybody who's not in the game should form behind we two coaches and be listening. So the most important thing is I get confused of who's in the game if I don't have those 5 guys sitting in front of me. So that's as much for the coach as it is for the kids. So it's just who's ever in the game should be sitting on the bench, and everybody else behind the coaches. If we have time, I don't think we're going to. I would like to go and try and do that drill that didn't go well last Thursday, where we're doing a lot of back cuts and front cuts, but I just don't think we're going to get there. So, if we can do the baseline out of bounds stack, that's fantastic. Otherwise, we'll have to pick up all these things on the next practice and, probably just put in some real simple press breaker in case we get pressed the first game. So that is it. Hopefully that's helpful.